Hi everyone. Monica, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. So, students, today was the management case study results day. So, many students have cleared the last attempt. So, it looks like same standard CIMA is maintaining their pass rate. So, nothing to worry, students. We will again maintain the same level of commitment and dedication and do it. So students, today I said I will be doing the ratio analysis and I will be doing the growth analysis part today because students, although the pre-seen material looks very easy and straightforward, the ratios are not so as what you think. So what we do is let's go through the growth analysis. So the first growth analysis what we have done previously was the revenue growth. So the revenue growth here was 2.4% and 4.89% compared with Hatlo, who is our direct competitor, who is the having 20% market share. So the revenue in the number of leading piping, this is mainly because the company is having revenue generated through first mover advantage, as we already know. However, in terms of growth, Hatlo is better. This is mainly because of higher market share. However, Hatlo should have given some discounts to the product. Now, can I ask one more question, students? Example, since we are very much aware about the case study, now if you see piping only sells black tea, correct? Yes or no, Monica? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There can be situations, there can be situations where piping sells green tea as well. Sorry, not piping, Hatlo, that is our competitor company. Okay, because mainly if they have a better growth in the revenue, there can be a situation, students, their sells Hatlo sells where Hatlo sells green tea. uh, therefore, due to product mix, there can be a growth. There can be a growth due to a product mix. There can be a growth. So, students, that is one more factor that you need to consider here at the moment. So, Malik, are you clear with this point of view?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, coming into the cost of revenue as well. Now, Monica, you see here the cost of goods. That means here we have 4.21% of growth. And if you see our competitor is again having a better cost of revenue growth as well. So, Monica, what can you expect there? What do you think? Why they are having a better cost of revenue compared with us?
Might be they are attractive to the customers over there, sir.
No, that's not the correct answer. Malit, anything that you are able to think?
Sir, so the main revenue for us is coming from export sales. So that means
Correct.
we are giving more higher export charges like shipments and everything must be result
But
higher
if you
expense
see,
for.
no, I am saying Hatlo is having a higher cost of revenue growth compared with us. In this example, if you see,
Yes,
Hatlo
yes.
is having a highest revenue. That means cost of revenue. That is the cost of sales compared with us. So the question is, it's not the size now. Size-wise, we know we are bigger than Hatlo. But now coming into the application of cost of revenue, what do you think? Anyone, Adil, anything that you can think about why cost of revenue generally is higher compared with our company, other company? That means our competitor company.
So we are using sophisticated
Is
purchasing.
that falling under selling and distribution?
They must be not giving much discounts like us.
No, cost of revenue, Malik. Cost of revenue is production cost.
Sir, might be their raw material price can be low
Raw
comparing
material,
piping.
whose raw material price is low?
hat loss.
No, their price cannot be low because if you see their growth is very high. Their cost of revenue growth is comparatively higher compared with us because it should go in line. So my question mark I can generally say is they may have a better production process. Example, better blenders. What do you think, Maunika? Because can there
Yes,
be
sir.
better blenders? Malit,
Yes,
are you clear with that, Malit? Blenders, because we have how many blenders, Malit, in our company? I
6.
6 blenders. But if you want to increase the cost of revenue, that means we need to have a better blending department. What do you think, Malik? Yes or no? Because
Yes, yes.
Hatlo would have invested in better blenders. So students, that this is how you need to be able to think in the examination, because blender is something very much specific to the business. So I'll write down here, students, the the cost of revenue of Hatlo has grown compared the cost of revenue of Hatlo has grown compared with, I can specifically mention, compared with whom, students? Piping. Compared with piping. This is mainly because the company would have a better, look at the way I am connecting here, a better blending team, to make sure the taste is at higher standard. Make sense? Yes, make sense. Higher standards. Okay. Further, this may have directly contributed, directly contributed to the revenue growth. Now, can I ask that same question to Maunika? Now, if you look at here, Maunika, the cost of the goods and the sales has a positive relationship, because when your cost of sales goes up, your revenue also should go up. The reason is, if your company is efficient. Now, if you generally see your cost is going up, your revenue is not growing up, that means there is a factory issue, the internal control issue. Clear with that, Maunika? Now, here,
yes,
taste is very important. Whatever said and done, people buy tea also for the quality of taste that it provides. Are you clear with that, Maunika? Now,
yes, sir.
who makes sure that the quality of tea, that the standard is maintained, is by the blenders. Are you clear there? Now, if you observe, if you had increased the salaries of the blenders, then the cost of sales would have gone up, correct? But in this case, you see Hatlo, there is a growth. But compared with Hatlo's growth, the growth of our competitor is very, very high. Piping's growth, the competitor's growth is high. You get what I'm saying, Monica? Because if you see 4.21, 2.4, almost like half, but 6.68 and 4.89, this is not half. This is having a better efficiency. Are you clear with that, students? So maybe because of that. And another thing, further, they would have considered alternative packagings for tea bags using, I can say, banana leaf. Can you remember that, Monica? Yes or no? Because banana leaf is generally stronger to keep the water inside. Can you remember? There was a
Yes,
article
sir.
regarding to banana leaf. So see, students, how the connection takes place. Banana leaf. Further, they would have invested mostly on the product packaging and design. On the product packaging and design. Packaging and design. Students, I believe you are getting this application very, very clear. So before moving forward, students, you need to get this application very, very well. So Malit, any questions you have here, Malit? Are you getting this application clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Students, one thing, remember, one of the most important employee working is blending team. So I will just highlight this students blending team, because students at the moment you will find it little different in your thinking and the way I am thinking. That's not an issue, because now you are getting used to the system. So I want to make sure that you don't have any questions during the explanation class. So students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if this point of view is very clear for you? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So students, coming to the next one, gross profit growth. You see here, students, gross profit growth 2.65, 0.25, 0.25. So Monica, can I assume one thing, that effectively we are less inefficient? Do you agree on that, Monica? Yes or no? Compared
Yes,
with
sir.
our competitors. Because
Yes,
what
sir.
has happened is we are using the traditional factories, correct? We are just using the how many 700 employees in our factory. Makes sense? And
Yes,
200 for other things. But the question mark arises is whether our 700 employees generating results. Students get the point there. So I can generally say the gross profit growth is very much less. Is very much less. The gross profit growth is very much less compared with, I can specifically write down Hatlo. This may be due to poor working environment in the factory. Example, 700 employees.
Hello, I say.
700 employees. 700 employees not generating enough results to the production inefficiency. They are not producing enough results in efficiency. Get that point of view very, very clearly, students. It's very important. Further, we need to be aware. Douglas, I am muting you for a long time. You are unmuting a lots of time. Please wait for the doubt time, then you can talk, because I am losing my concentration when you always unmute. Please be kind enough to mute your mic. Okay, further, we need to consider other I can say non-value adding activities in the factory of piping. So one thing that we need to understand here, Monica, is we have effectively managed poorly, although everything shows positively. Are you clear with that, Monica? Yes or no?
yes, sir.
So students, any questions you have, you can ask me. If you are fine with that, students, can you please put a Y in the chat box, students? Any questions there, you can ask me. If you are fine with that, you can please put Y in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, students. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So students, now coming into the next one, administration expense, it's a difference of negative. That means it has reduced compared with our competitors. So the question arises here is, Monica, here we have downsized this by 9.21%, and here it has become by 8.16% reduction in the administration cost. Now the question arises is, like how did they manage to reduce the administration cost? It's not about what you see, it's the ideology behind what you see. Malit, can you think about it, Malit, if you do not mind? Adil, Maunika, anyone?
So because of employees again,
Employees?
there are more employees
No,
and they
I'm.
need to.
So why is the rationale behind it? More employees reducing? No. Administration distribution, effectively we have 200 staff, but
Yes,
other company also has reduced it. So that is the question mark arises here. I think Adil, you are telling about that sophisticated softwares, if I'm not mistaken. So I think the sophisticated softwares is nowadays taking over the jobs of the administration employees. What do you think about it, Adil? Can there be a possibility? Because if you see generally in the past, the administration employees are essential in order to track the prices and let the company knows. But I don't think so now it is efficient. So Monica, can I also conclude that it is a correct point there, Monica, that sophisticated software? Because
yes,
if you generally see the tender quoting prices all goes with that. Malit, are you getting that application, Malit? Are you clear with that, Malit?
So that means, so you're saying that they have taken more cost efficient decisions like
Correct. It's
yeah.
not cost efficient, I can specifically say. The reason is, if you say cost efficient decision means you keep the people and reduce the cost. But here, the reduction is done because of a new technology taking over their position. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now, example, if you generally see earlier, you need to have administration staff in order to monitor the price changes taking place in the auction market. But now, do you need a person to do that, or you have a sophisticated software that
Yes,
generally guides you? Now,
clear.
sophisticated software means please don't take it a user-friendly software or non-user-friendly, because generally in any sector of industry, the software will be sophisticated, meaning it will have technical jargons. That is the understanding. Monica, are you clear with what I'm saying there? It will
yes, yes,
generally have the technical jargon. That is the meaning of, I can say, sophisticated. Example, students, if you generally see another sophisticated, so the Bitcoin softwares, generally, if you generally see the prices going up, going down, you can observe it. That generally takes place accordingly. Okay, now students, I will come here. Now, both the companies has a reduction. There is a reduction. There is a reduction in the administration, in the administration cost, in the administration cost, in the administration cost by both by both the companies, which are quite similar. Correct, Monica? Yes or no? 8% and 9.21%, just a 1% different. Correct?
yes,
This
sir.
is mainly because of the sophisticated sophisticated software sophisticated software taking over the admin task such as tracking the tea leaf prices in the regional market and generating reports on price quotation for the product. Are you clear with this, Monica? Yes or no? So, do you
Yes,
assume that there can be a situation of this taking place? Possible or not possible, Monica? Yes or no?
possible, sir.
Highly possible. So this is one reason that the administration costs are reducing, and this is the basic understanding at the moment, students, because day by day systems are. Can we use ERP? No, ERP is overall, but here they have not mentioned there is an ERP. It's only for the price control mechanism only. So ERP cannot be mentioned because there is no indication of ERP in the case study. So it's just a technical note for the moment, but sophisticated software only for auction pricing. Now coming to the next one, Monica, the selling and marketing expense growth. Even do you see the growth is going towards a decline, a reduction once again? Yes or no, Monica? High level. So the thing is, Monica, if you observe one major point of view in the case study they have mentioned is relating to the accounts department. Can you remember, Monica, there is something called the accounts department in this. That means they generally take care of the, if I'm not mistaken, the selling to the designated distribution channel. Possible, no, Monica? Yes or no? And
Yes,
what they do is they generally make sure they give proper discounts to the retailers and also they collect it. But my question here to the entire class is nowadays, because of the development of online platforms, can I say there is a shift from the direct marketing to digital marketing? What do you think, Monica? Possible or not possible?
yes,
Because
sir.
in
From
case,
traditional marketing to
correct,
digital marketing.
correct. In the pre-scene also they have mentioned that they collect feedback from
Yes,
the website. That means
social media.
consumers directly comment what they want from the product. They give suggestions. So there are high chances that the digital strategy is effectively taking out the cost of the traditional marketing team. Malit, are you understanding that point of view there, Malit? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
clear?
Yes, very clear.
So students, make sure that you are able to be very much towards the business at the moment. So I will write down here, students, for your understanding, the traditional direct marketing, the traditional direct marketing, the traditional direct marketing, the traditional direct marketing has to be considered, has to be considered because of the development of online distribution channels. There can be situations the retailers directly making orders from the website, and also we can evidence that the company is able to collect feedback and suggestion online. This is a clear indication. This is a clear indication on how the digital strategy, has affected the overall business, resulting in cost reduction. Resulting in what? Cost reduction. Are you clear with this, Monica? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Students, are you getting that understanding? Any questions you have, please let me know. If you're fine with that, can you please put a Y in the chat box, students? Because get the point of view very, very clearly, the administration cost is going down. So I'll just put a highlighting note here. The administration cost is not going up. The selling and distribution cost also is having an inverse. That means an either way of effect there, students. So get this application very clearly as much as possible, because it's different. And I can say the digitalization platforms are taking example. Monica, can I ask you a question? Now if we go through traditional finance, you need to have papers, correct, for the billing. But
Yes,
in
sir.
digital finance, do you need to have papers, or it's very much soft copy driven networks? soft copy even right now. You see, you pay CIMA fee, a soft copy, right? They will just send you the soft copy of your invoice. Agree, no, Monica?
Yes,
But
sir.
you look at the traditional marketing, no, you will get a hard copy also. So get that point of view, students. Because Malit, if you observe, considering the experience we see in Sri Lanka, paper cost itself is a very big cost. Correct, no, Malit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So effectively, digitalization can make sure that even the paper cost is managed and controlled. Managed and controlled. Even that could have been mentioned in a proper application. Okay. Now coming to the operating profit growth. Now, if you see again, the other company has a better operational profit growth compared with us. So I can specifically mention here Hatlo. Students, Hatlo has effectively managed the operations well. Has effectively managed the operations well. This is a great achievement compared to piping. This is a great achievement compared to piping. Therefore, piping should make sure that they improve the standards, since there is only 3% difference in the market share. Correct, no, Monica? Yes or no? So if you
Yes, sir.
see, a slight 3% different only they have. But in case if our competitor Hatlo continues to perform like this consistently for another 1 or 2 sessions, I think they will take over the business. Correct? Makes sense, students? Highly makes sense. So students, this is one major factor. Therefore, the innovation can be considered, can be considered, can be considered, such as botanist ideas for growing tea leaves, because we remember that as well. Further, infusion based drinks, modern manufacturing processes. Can you remember, Monica? They gave an article about modern manufacturing processes, like how
Yes,
the machine cuts the tea bags
yes,
properly.
sir.
Modern manufacturing process, new product developments, such as teapods, full stop. So now we need to understand that differentiation is very, very important. But I can observe Hatlo has done completely a different business strategy compared with us. So students get this application very well. Piping out did not achieve a decline compared to Hatlo because they are managing the export market in operations. Yes, but still I don't think so. It's a good one, because if you see with the external market, that is the expatriate market, still it's 14.71, but we don't know anything about Hatlo. But 23.90 with a small range of product is very efficient. It's a very good question. Now, Monica, can you see any indication of the foreign sales in our financial statements? I don't think so, right, Monica? The foreign sales
No,
impact,
sir.
no, right? So
No,
can
sir.
we conclude that the foreign sales impact is very minimal? Students, can you agree with me, students? Because they have clearly mentioned that the foreign sales is generally for the expatriates from Northland India. So can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Thank you. Thank you, students. So finance growth, finance cost growth, I just want to see. So students, if you see our company has settled some loan from 58, from 58, sorry, from 52.5, it's 49. There's a reduction. But if you see other company has borrowed, if I'm not mistaken, so I'll just take you to the other company. So 48 to 51. So Maunika, what is your observation here? This company has repaid and this company is borrowing. What is the observation? One is Maunika, is their gearing ratio was almost 50%, right? If I'm not
Yes, sir.
mistaken.
Yes,
So
sir.
they would have had some existing borrowing to be repaid. That will be the, I can say, the correct reason behind that. So I'll write down here the current financial structure of, I can specifically mention of whom students, that is our company Piping, is highly geared, Therefore, there can be situations where the company will be paying more interest and they would have had a loan payment which they have settled. So this is the main thing. Further, the HAT may generally expand the business based on the growth of the interest and investments in the new process ideas. Now, students, if you observe, our company is little outdated compared with Hatlo, because if you see, Hatlo would have borrowed money mainly to expand the business. That is the truth. And the interest and the investment also is one of the main concern. They are not bothered about the interest and the investment, but currently they are very much bothered about their growth factor. But here we are borrowed a lot of money and ultimately we are not able to pay that money as well. So students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with this explanation, students? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if you are clear with this explanation? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you very much. So students, coming to the profit before tax growth, I think again, if you see, the basically idea goes here is again the concept of the efficiency. So that has more relationship with operating profit because interest is the only factor that is there, but I can clearly say that's again very much towards the efficiency. So this is mostly towards the efficiency, students. So don't worry about that. And the taxation, students, if you see the taxation, here it's going proportionately, but here it's going disproportionately. Now, example, Maunika, the profit before tax has grown by 28.41 and the income tax has grown by 28.54. But in this case, if you see the other organization, their tax growth is little higher. Any point of view that you like to add here, Monica? What do you think so?
Might be they're exporting, piping is exporting a lot than Hatlo.
Correct.
And
Excise duties and I can say the foreign remittance taxes may be there.
yes,
So
sir.
that's the correct point, students. Students, can I get a Y in the chat box if you're okay with that? And students, feel free to comment whatever you feel that is correct as well. Thank you. So students, I'll write down here the tax growth is generally higher for, I'll write down here, piping is higher for piping. Therefore, it is better to be understood that piping has more foreign remittance taxes on the exports, which would have given a higher amount. Full stop. That makes a lot of sense here. So students, the next one is profit for the year growth. If you observe, again, if you effectively see, again, efficiency. So I'll write down here, this is a conclusion. This is a conclusion. This is a conclusion on performance that Hatlo is performing considerably better than home students, better than piping. So this is the conclusion. Therefore piping should make sure that they develop new strategies to go forward. Full stop. Students, can I quickly get a Y in the chat box if the growth analysis is clear, students? Can I quickly get a Y in the chat box, students? Students, this is very, very different compared with the other ratios. But Monica, any learning outcome you got from this, Monica?
Yes, sir.
Good. So students, frankly speaking, this time they have played the game with the numbers compared with the narration of explanation. So students, this ratio analysis is a long area of explanation. So I will do it on the Saturday class, which will be at morning 10:30 a.m. So students, Saturday will be a longer session. At least it will go for 2 hours. So please be kind enough to make some allocated time for the Saturday class. But before moving forward, any other questions you have on the growth analysis? Because I'll share this data today itself. Any questions you have on the growth analysis, students? Waiting for your response. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Liv.
Yes, just to ask about in terms of the tax growth now about piping regarding their donation that were not approved by the minister for it to be a deduction. Is it relevant?
Yes, because if you see here, when you do the exports, there is an additional tax component. And I think if you see, piping is generally having that additional tax component, which is effectively higher compared with Hatlo. Is that fine?
Yes.
So that is the point of view. But at law, they have not given any indication relating to the international trade. It's just the domestic trade.
Okay.
Clear, no?
So we can't be able to compare based on that.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
So I'll just do a one-to-one session. Maunika, any questions?
Sir, finance cost, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, please.
There is a decline for piping, sir, and there is an increase for a hat low.
Yes,
So
that's what I told you. We are repaying our loan because our company is highly geared. So they would have asked us to pay some elements, like the overdraft was 0, if I'm not mistaken. So the basic idea is we are repaying the loan because of our capital structure, highly geared. You get what I'm saying, Monica?
yes,
So
sir.
they would have had some obligations to repay the loan on time. But if you see the other organization, that is Hatlo, I think they would have borrowed less in the past. So they have that borrowing capacity, we generally say, to borrow more. And you observe that they are growing as well. So they are using the debt in a positive manner to grow. Is that fine, Monica?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Malit, any questions you have? Thank you. Adil, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Kofi, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Badwell, any questions?
No questions, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Noor, any questions?
No question, sir.
Thank you. So students, again, please don't take it in a wrong way. It's like this. The case study is very business oriented. Initial classes, you will get used to the structure. But once you are ready with the structure, you will find it very, very easier to do it. So students, I will meet you up on the Saturday class, which is a morning class. So thank you very much, students, for your time. Have a wonderful evening, students. Take care.
Sir, one question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, are you keeping these your lectures in any location, sir?
I didn't understand.
Sir, are you keeping your lectures, all the recordings in any
Yes,
location?
I will send you that Google Classroom.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, students.
Sir?